Under the church lights, my phone rings in my bag as I sit in the front row, tears streaming down my cheeks. There is a picture of my sister smiling calmly next to her shining casket. Before I even glance, I can tell it's Greg calling. He has been phoning me constantly since I left for the burial this morning, insisting that I come home and conduct his family gathering. I'd inhaled deeply before going outside to respond. Where on earth are you? Greg uses profanity on the phone. Now leave the funeral and return here. My mother and my relatives are prepared to greet me. I say, Greg, please, and my voice shakes. It's the funeral for my sister. My family needs me to be here. I don't care. You need to take care of things at home. Don't bother coming back if you're not here in an hour. I'll send you the papers for the divorce tomorrow. The call ends quickly. My body is shaking as I lean against the cold stone wall. After 10 years of marriage, Greg is now making threats and demands on the day I'd bury my sister. I remember how he swept me off my feet with big love moves when we met in college. I thought his possessiveness was love because I was young and ignorant. Soon after we got married, he persuaded me to quit my job and stay at home with the kids, even though his bossy mother, Janice, was always criticizing everything I did. Their attacks were slow and sneaky, and they slowly took away my trust and freedom. Steve, my brother-in-law, walks out of the church when the doors creak open. Lana, is everything okay? I shake my head, and new tears come out. Steve puts his arm around my shoulders to make me feel better. As I tell him about Greg's new threat, Steve makes it clear this isn't right. No one should be treated this way, especially by their husband. How? I whisper. He's in charge of everything, the house and the money. If I try to leave, he will turn our son against me, just like his mother did to him. Steve looks me in the eye. Listen up, Lana. You're better than you think. Stop letting them pick on you. If not for yourself, then for Mason. He wants you to show him that this isn't normal or okay. A shaky breath comes out of me. I know Steve is right. Deep down, I've been making excuses for Greg for years, thinking he'd change. But the cycle of abuse and control keeps getting worse. When I think of my smart and kind boy, my heart hurts. He should not think this is how a marriage should be as he grows up. I tell Steve I'll try. I don't know how, but I'll try to be strong for Mason and for myself. As we walk back into the church, I hunch my back and get ready for a fight. It will not be easy to face Greg and Janice, but for the first time in 10 years, I feel a spark of drive mixed with fear for my son and the lady I used to be. I will do whatever it takes to get away. The one I'm slowly learning still exists even after all these years of being pushed down. This is just the start. I stayed in the church parking lot for a long time after the funeral because I'm afraid of the argument I'll have at home. Steve walks up to me, his brow wrinkled with worry. Lana, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation with Greg earlier. He points out, I don't like how he talks to you. That's not how people should be treated. I look away because I feel bad about what I saw. Don't worry, Steve. It doesn't bother me, I say. He says, but you shouldn't be. Excuse me, Lana, but I care about you and can see how much you hurt. This is not my place. You need to defend yourself. My eyes hurt with tears. I have no idea. Gray has everything under his care. The house and the money. He even said if I tried to leave, he would turn our son against me. Steve clenches his teeth. Lana, that's not love. That's being abusive. You deserve so much better. What he said hit me hard. I've always known the truth, but hearing it from someone else makes it hard to ignore. I whisper, I'm scared. Greg and his mother, they've broken me down for so long. I don't know if I have the strength to fight back. Steve puts his hand on my shoulder and looks at me with determined eyes. You're stronger than you believe. You don't need to do this by yourself. I'm here to help you. And I know your family will be too. I take a long, shaky breath. Thank you, Steve. Without you, I'd be lost. Lana, you can do this. Take one step at a time. Don't forget that you're not doing this just for yourself. You are also doing it for Mason. His words keep going through my mind as I drive home, and they make my heart race. He's right. This is not okay for my son to think as he gets older. I need to be strong for both of us. When I pull into the driveway, Greg is waiting on the steps with a mad look on his face. Janice is following him around and squinting her eyes. Where the hell have you been? As I get out of the car, Greg says, I told you to come home hours ago. I stand up straight and look him straight in the eyes. Greg, I was at the funeral for my sister, where I had to be, needed to be. He laughs. What do I need? Do you know what your duties are here? I also have to take care of my family. I say, my voice shaking a little, and I'm done letting you control every aspect of my life. Greg's eyes get close together. What did you just say to me? As I move forward, my heart beats hard against my chest. Oh no, Greg, I want a divorce. I can't keep living this way. His face is twisted with anger. You ungrateful, he growls, putting up his hand as if to hit me. I move quickly to get ready for the blow, but it doesn't come. Instead, Janice moves forward, and her speech is poisonous. If you even think about leaving, I'll make sure you never see your son again, she says. I'll turn him against you so fast your head will spin. Even though fear is trying to grab me, I stand my ground. I tell them, no, you won't. I won't let you poison him the way you've poisoned Greg. Greg's face turns red with anger. He says, you're not going anywhere without me. You're nothing. Do you get it? Nothing. When I look him straight in the eye, I feel stronger than ever. Greg, you're wrong. Without you, I'm everything. I am no longer willing to be your hitting bag. I then turn on my heel, walk inside, and slam the door behind me. There is a lot of energy in my body, so my hands shake as I lean against it. I know this is only the start. They won't let me leave without a fight, but I feel a spark of hope in the middle of my fear. For the first time in years, I will do anything to get my life back. When I walk into the house, Greg jumps on me like a dog on a leash. He grabs my arm and digs his nails into my skin so deeply that they hurt. He growls, you think you can just walk away after everything I've done for you? I try to get away, but he holds on tighter. Let go of me, Greg. Not until you get your act together. Lana, you're not going to leave me. That's not going to happen. Janice walks through the opening with her arms crossed over her chest. You should be grateful Greg ever married you in the first place, she says. Who else would want a pathetic, useless woman like you? My anger rises up in my chest, making it hot and bright. I'm not useless, I say, and I'm not going to let you treat me like this anymore. Greg lets out a rough laugh. Really? What are you going to do then? You don't have any money, a job, or skills. Without me, you're nothing. My skin hurts as I pull my arm away from him. I'll figure it out. It's not good to live this way. Janice takes a step forward, and her eyes shine with evil. I will make sure you never see Mason again. If you even think about leaving, I'll tell him what a bad mother you are for being selfish. He will always hate you if I lose my son. It makes my stomach turn. That's not allowed. You can't do that because of the courts. Greg laughs. Are you sure you can pay for a lawyer? Remember that I'm in charge of all the money. I'll make sure you don't see a dime. Fear grabs me by the throat, but I stand tall. I have family and friends. They are going to help me. The way Janice laughs is cold and mean. Your family? They have never liked you. They believe you failed. What about your friends? What friends? You only have us. I'd blink back tears that hurt my eyes. They won't be able to see me break. That's not true. There are people who believe in me and care about me. Greg's face turns red with anger. The man spits. You ungrateful. This is how you repay me after everything I've given you. You tore our family apart the moment you touched me. You broke up this family. I say, my voice shaking, the moment you decided your ego was more important than your wife and child. Greg's hand comes out and grabs me by the throat as he slams me against the wall. I gasp and scratch at his fingers. He growls at me, his breath hot against my face. You're not going anywhere. You are mine. Do you get it? You'll never get away from me. As I fight for air, black spots dance in my eyes. I'm about to pass out when Greg lets go of me, and I fall to the floor. He growls, "Get out of my sight, and if you ever try to leave again, I'll make you regret it." I stumble to my feet, and every breath hurts my throat. Janice laughs at me as I trip and fall, and her eyes light up with pride. I get to the bedroom before I start to cry so hard that my chest hurts. I bury my face in my hands and shake so badly from my sadness. Why did I let it go this far? Why did I let them break me down so badly? But even though I feel like hopelessness is going to swallow me whole, I have a small spark of defiance in my chest. Even though they beat me up, they didn't break me. Not yet. I think of Mason, the smart and pretty boy who deserves so much better. When I think of my sister, I remember how brave and strong she always saw me, even when I couldn't see it myself. I'm stuck, but I can still do something. No matter what, I'll get out of this, for Mason, for myself, for the life I know we both deserve. Greg and Janice, once again, don't think much of me. They think they have power over me, but they don't. I'm done letting them hurt me. We need to fight back now. I sneak out of the house before Greg and Janice wake up the next morning, my heart racing. When I get to a nearby coffee shop, my hands are shaking as I pull out my phone. I look through my phone's contacts until I find Olivia's. She is a divorce lawyer and has known my sister for a long time. Fear twists in my gut, making me pause for a moment. How come? She might not believe me. What if she thinks I'm upset too much? I take a big breath and press the call button. Olivia picks up on the second ring. Her voice is friendly and warm. Hi, Lana. It's been a while. How are things going for you? There are tears in my eyes, and I swallow hard. Help me, Olivia. The threat to take my son away from me makes me not want to leave Greg. The other end of the line is silent. Are you okay, Lana? Is Greg with you? No, I'm by myself. Oh, but he's been mean to you, Olivia, both mentally and physically. His mother is also very bad. They have been in charge of my whole life for years. Olivia has a soft but strong voice. Lana, I'm so sorry you're going through this, but you're doing the right thing by reaching out for help. That is not how anyone should be treated, Olivia says, with concern in her voice. I feel so much relief that it almost knocks me off my feet. Thank you, Olivia. I had no one else to turn to. She tells me, You did the right thing. All right, let's do this. I want you to start writing down everything, including the threats, abuse, and power over money. Write things down, take pictures of any bruises, and save any emails or texts that threaten you. I nod, but she can't see me. Okay, I can do that. All right, I'm also going to start making a plan for you and Mason to get away. Lana, I promise we'll get you out of there, but we need to be careful. My cheeks are wet with tears. Thank you, Olivia. I have no idea how I'll ever repay you. She tells me, you don't have to pay me back. Just keep yourself safe and gather evidence. I'll take care of the rest. After we hang up, I sit in my car and feel like my mind is spinning. I know it won't be easy to keep track of the abuse because Greg is careful not to leave marks, and Janice is very good at using what I say against me. I know I can't live this way forever, though. My son Mason should not think that this is normal or what love looks like as he grows up. My heart is pounding in my chest as I drive home. When I walk in the front door, Greg is already there, his eyes narrowed with worry. His voice is low and scary as he asks, "Where were you?" I lift my chin in defiance as I force myself to look into his eyes. I drove around. I needed to get some air. He moves toward me with his hands clenched. You didn't think to ask permission first. My anger rises up in my chest, making it hot and bright. You don't have to tell me to leave the house, Greg. You have me as a prisoner. I think he's going to hit me for a second because his face is so angry. He grabs my arm, though, and his fingers dig into my skin. He growls, "You're my wife. You do as I say, or there will be consequences." My heart is beating fast as I pull my arm away from him. I'm not afraid of you anymore, Greg, and I'm not going to let you control me any longer. I then turn on my heel, walk upstairs, and slam the bedroom door behind me. As I start to type up what just happened on my phone, my hands start to shake. It's not much, but it's something. A small crack in the perfect marriage facade, a light in the dark. I know it won't be easy going forward. They will fight me every step of the way and try to break me down until I have nothing left. But I also know I'm no longer by myself. Olivia is on my side, and the truth is on my side too. I feel something stirring in my chest for the first time in years. It's a sense of strength and purpose. I'm ready to peace. My life back together again. Anyone who tries to stop me will be punished. I'm going to put all of my efforts into recording Greg's abuse and gathering proof of his financial wrongdoing over the next few weeks. I keep a thorough journal of everything that happens and take pictures of the bruises on my arm. I also save threatening voicemails and emails. But Greg gets more angry with me the more I stand up for myself. His temper flares up over small things, and he breaks dishes and holes in walls. Janice only makes things worse by telling him hurtful things and reminding me of my place. One night, when I get home from meeting Olivia, Greg is waiting for me in the living room with a mean smile on his face. His voice sounds surprisingly calm as he says, "I've been thinking. I also think you no longer need a car or even a phone. It hurts to eat." "What are you talking about?" He hangs my cell phone and keys in front of me, like a cat playing with a mouse. "Lana, I'm going to cut you off. Don't go anywhere behind my back again. No more meeting up with your little friends in secret." I feel panic rising in my throat. "Greg, this is impossible. I need my car to get Mason to school and do other things. My only way out is through my phone." He smiles in a mean way. "You don't need a guide. Remember that you have me. All you need is me." I'm filled with hot, angry rage. Give me my phone and keys. Greg, now. He takes a step toward me, and his eyes light up with anger. Then what, Lana? What are you going to do? Run to your lawyer friend and cry. Feel free to tell her that I'm a monster for trying to keep my family together. My heart is beating fast as I stand my ground. Greg, Olivia knows the truth. She really knows what kind of man you are. No matter what, she will help me leave you. He grabs me by the shoulders and shakes me hard, his face red with anger. Do you hear me? You're not going anywhere, Lana. You're mine. Mine. I push him away, and my whole body shakes. Greg, I'm not your trash. I'm a person with my own thoughts, feelings, and wants. And I'm done letting you run my life. His eyes are dark with rage as he stares at me for a long time. Then he storms out of the room and slams the door behind him. My legs give out under me, and I fall to the floor as I try to hold myself together with my arms around me. Tears are running down my face. I'm sure I can't give up now. Greg will never voluntarily let me go, and he will never own up to being mean and abusive. I will have to fight with everything I have to be free. Olivia hired a private investigator to look into Greg's finances, and I meet with him the next day. He gives me a big folder with a sad look on his face. He says, "It's all there. Bank records, emails, and phone calls recorded for years. Your husband has been stealing money from his business and putting it in accounts in other countries." My heart is beating fast as I turn the pages. With this proof, I can not only get a divorce, but I can also make sure Greg pays for what he did. I thank the detective and take the folder home with me in my bag. When I walk in the front door, Greg is already there, his face tense with worry. He asks, "Where have you been?" I look him straight in the eyes, my chin raised in defiance. "I had to take care of some business, Greg. I have a business that will change everything." He looks at me funny, but I push past him and go upstairs before he can say anything. When I get out of bed, I lock myself in the bedroom and grab my phone. I'm shaking as I call Olivia. When she calls, I tell her, "It's time. I have the proof we need. Let's get rid of this jerk." Olivia's tone of voice is strong and determined. "Lana, I'm on my way. Hold on tight. This is going to end for good." I put the phone down and take a deep breath. My heart is beating fast. The last battle is coming up, and I'm ready to take it on. The way Greg and Janice treat me makes them think they've defeated me, but they have no idea what I can do. For the last time, they didn't think I was good enough. Let them see what a woman who has been slandered can do. I don't think the fight will happen so soon. I'm making dinner in the kitchen while trying to calm my beating heart. Greg storms in with an angry look on his face. He snaps at me and slams his hand on the counter. "You stupid. Do you really think you can trick me? Do you really think you can destroy everything I've worked on?" My heart is beating fast as I take a step back. "What are you talking about, Greg?" He holds up his phone and his eyes light up. "My boss just called me. He says that my funds were looked into and that they found proof of theft and fraud. It hurts to eat." The private eye must have told Greg's business about it. I knew it was risky, but I didn't think it would happen so quickly. "Greg, I don't know what you're talking about," I say slowly, trying to calm down. He grabs me by the arm and digs his nails into my skin. "Lana, don't lie to me. I know you're behind this. You and that lawyer friend of yours are out to get me." I rip my arm free from his grasp, getting very angry. "Greg, you killed yourself. The one who stole money and lied to everyone is you. You've been abusing me for years. He charges at me with his hands around my throat, and his angry face twists as he slams me against the wall. I scratch at his fingers as I gasp for air. You're nothing without me, he growls, blowing hot air at me. You're a pathetic, worthless piece-off. As I try to breathe, black spots dance in my eyes as I'm about to pass out. The front door bursts open and Olivia and 2 police officers rush in. I can't stop them. Get your hands off her, you son of a... Olivia screams, her voice shaking with anger. When Greg lets go of me, I fall to the ground, gasping for air as he screams bad words. The cops grab him by the arms and wrestle him into handcuffs. Lana, are you okay? Olivia gets on her knees next to me, her face filled with worry. I nod, and tears start to fall from my eyes. I'm fine. I can't believe it's over. With her arm around my waist, she helps me get up. Honey, it's not over yet, but we have him. We have all the proof we need to jail him for a long time. I see the cops drag Greg out of the house. His face is twisted with anger and hate. Janice stands in the doorway, shocked. She says, "What have you done?" Her voice shakes. I look her in the eyes with my head held high and my chin raised in defiance. I've taken my life back, Janice, and there's nothing you or Greg can do to stop me. She looks at me for a long time, then turns around and walks away, her shoulders sagging in failure. I look at Olivia with a heart full of thanks. Thank you, I say in a teary whisper. For every, she gives me a tight hug, and her eyes are shining. Lana, you did this. People tried to break you, but you had the strength and guts to stand up for yourself and fight back. It feels like a weight has been taken off my chest as I take a deep, shaky breath. What happens now? Olivia smiles, and she really wants to do it now. We'll make Greg pay for what he did. We'll make sure he never hurts you or anyone else again. I nod, and a spark of hope starts to burn in my chest. I feel like I can breathe again, and am finally free for the first time in years. As I look ahead to the divorce, custody fight, and criminal trial, I know I have a long way to go. But with Olivia by my side, and the truth on my side, I know I can handle anything. Greg was sure he could break me and rule me for good, but I was stronger than he thought. He didn't realize how strong and tough a woman could be when she was pushed to her limits. He's going to pay for it now. Now I'll make sure of it, one way or another. The divorce hearing is very rough and takes a long time. Greg and Janice do everything they can to make me look like a bad mother. They throw mud at me and tell lies. Janice is the first person to speak. She is wearing a mask of fake worry on her face. She says, Lana has always been unstable, and her voice is full of fake pity. Her moods change all the time, and she often goes crazy. I'm afraid Mason won't be safe with her. I clench my hands under the table because I'm so mad. She shouldn't have tried to twist the truth to make me look like the bad guy in this story. Olivia is ready, though. She shows the judge the proof we've gathered, like the pictures of my bruises, the threatened texts from Greg, and the financial records that show he was wrongdoings. Olivia asks Mrs. Thompson in a calm voice, "Can you explain why you never told the police or looked for help for Lana when you were worried about her supposed instability?" Janice stutters, and her face turns red. I didn't want to make things worse. I believed I could handle it on my own. Olivia gives a small smile at the corners of her mouth and nods. Okay. Also, could you tell me why you wanted your son to marry Lana and start a family if she was so unstable? It looks like Janice can't think of anything to say. because her mouth keeps opening and closing like a fish out of water. Greg is the next person to go on the stand. He tries to make himself look like the victim, like the husband who put up with a lot just to keep his family together. But Olivia won't give up. She grills him about the abuse, the wrongdoing with money, and the years of controlling and manipulating her. "Mr. Thompson," she asks, "can you tell the court why you felt the need to watch your wife do everything to keep her from seeing her family and friends to be in charge of her whole life?" Greg's angry face goes purple. "I was watching out for her," he growls. "She's not strong. She's easy to lose track of. I thought it was best for her." Olivia laughs and shakes her head. "No, Mr. Thompson. You were taking care of yourself. You used your money and power over a woman you thought of as your property, not your partner." The judge sits there with his face blank as he listens to the evidence, but I can see disgust and anger in his eyes at how I've been treated. "Ask yourself, why are you here?" My voice is cold and hard as I ask. He moves his feet back and forth and can't look at me. "I had a quick need to see you, to talk to you." My heart is beating fast as I cross my arms over my chest. "Greg, we don't have anything to talk about. You've lost that right." For a long time he nods, and his shoulders fall down. "I understand. Just, I wanted to say sorry because of everything I made you go through, to make up for how I treated you." I think a lot as I look at him. Is this a trick? Something new? I can tell he feels bad about what he did by the look in his eyes. He says, with tears in his eyes, "I've lost everything. My job, my money, and my name. No one will talk to me anymore, not even Janice. I'd reached my lowest point, and I know it's all my fault." I feel a little better after hearing what he said, like I was right, but it's softened by a strange sympathy for the man in front of me because I know that he's not the same person he used to be. "Greg, I'm sorry, but I can't forgive you," I say with a softer voice. "I will never forget the years you abused and controlled me." He nods, and tears start to form in his eyes. "I get it. Just, you need to know that I'm sorry, that I'll try to be a better man for the rest of my life, and that I'll take blame for what I did." I see him walk away with his shoulders hunched against the wind. I feel like the past is finally behind me. For a moment, he is standing in the hallway with a worried look on his face. When I close the door and turn around, his voice shakes as he asks, "Was that Dad?" When I nod, my heart hurts for the pain and confusion I see in his eyes. He only wanted to say sorry. His duty is to answer for what he did to us. Mason is quiet for a long time, and his face moves as he thinks. Do you think he meant it? That he's truly sorry? I sigh and run my hand through my hair. "Honey, I don't know. I do know, though, that we've made a good life for ourselves, one full of love, joy, and meaning that can't be taken away from us by anything or anyone." Mason gives a small smile at the corners of his mouth and nods. "Mom, I'm proud of you because you're so strong. Thanks for always being there for us." He is close to me as I wrap my arms around him. "Mason, I'm proud of you too because you are a wonderful, kind, and caring young guy." We stand there for a long time, enjoying how much we love each other. I'm Jess, you see. I work as a statistician, and I suppose I'm doing okay for myself. I have a child named Alex who is incredibly intelligent and inquisitive about everything. And then there's Mike, my other half. He is in charge of a warehouse. Mike makes just enough money to cover some of his expenses. But it's not the career of his dreams. He's not the kind to pursue further.